If someone had told me that my own mother and sister would one day treat me like a stranger in my own home, I wouldn't have believed them. I used to think that love meant sacrifice, that being the strong one in the family meant carrying more weight, staying quiet, and giving without expecting anything back. For years, I paid the rent. I covered the bills. I supported my sister through college while my mother sat back and watched. I told myself it was fine, that one day they would see my worth. But they didn't. Instead, they threw me out. Literally. My clothes on the floor. My books in the hallway. My laptop dumped near the trash bin. That moment broke something inside me, but it also set something free. They didn't know who I really was. They didn't know what I was capable of without them. This isn't a story about revenge. It's about realization. About choosing peace over approval. And learning that walking away is sometimes the loudest thing you'll ever do. So if you've ever felt used, if you've ever been the quiet one carrying too much, then maybe the story is for you. My name is Emily. I'm 27 years old, and for the past 5 years, I've been the one quietly holding my family together, paying the bills, doing the grocery shopping, and covering rent without a word of thanks. I lived in the same house with my mother and my younger sister, Ashley. On the outside, people thought we were a normal, loving family. But behind closed doors, things were different. My mom always favored Ashley. She treated her like a princess, buying her clothes, defending her when she messed up, and blaming me if anything went wrong. Still, I didn't complain. I had a good job working in online sales, and I liked being independent. I didn't need anyone's help. I thought if I just stayed quiet and took care of things, everything would stay peaceful. Every month, my paycheck would go straight into the house. I paid the rent, utilities, internet, even Ashley's college tuition. My mom barely worked, and Ashley didn't work at all. She spent most of her time on social media, shopping online, or going out with friends. And still, I heard things like, "You don't do anything around here, Emily. Why are you always so cold? Be more like Ashley." It hurt, but I stayed. I thought I was doing the right thing by keeping the peace. But one day, that peace shattered in the ugliest way possible. It started with something small, Ashley's missing charger. She barged into my room, screaming, calling me names, throwing things. When I told her to calm down, she lost it. "Get out of this house. You think you're better than us just because you make money," she yelled. And then, something I never imagined happened. She picked up my laundry basket and dumped it in the hallway. One by one, she started throwing my things out of the room, my clothes, my laptop bag, my books, everything. I looked to my mother, standing behind her. I thought she would stop her. Instead, she crossed her arms and said, "If you want to live here, stop acting like you own the place." I stood there, shocked. All I could say was, "Are you serious right now?" And she replied, "This is my house. If you don't like it, you know where the door is." That day, I realized something. No matter how much I gave, they never saw me as family, just a wallet. So, I made a quiet decision right there. I was done. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't even argue. I simply picked up my bag, grabbed a few essentials, and walked out the front door. My hands were shaking, but my heart felt strangely calm, as if a weight had finally lifted. For 5 years, I had been paying almost every bill in that house. My name wasn't even on the lease. I didn't ask for credit. I just did it because I thought it was right. I thought I was helping my family. They had no idea how much I was actually doing for them. That same week, I went to the bank and stopped all the automatic payments. The rent? Canceled. The electricity and gas? Stopped. The internet? Shut off. Ashley's university tuition? Unpaid. Everything that was running smoothly under my name started falling apart. I moved into a small but clean apartment across town. It wasn't fancy, but it was mine. And it was peaceful, so quiet I could hear myself think for the first time in years. Meanwhile, back at the house, chaos had begun. By the end of the second week, I started getting texts from my mother. First, they were short and fake sweet. "Hi, just wondering if you accidentally turned off the Wi-Fi? Let me know, honey." Then they got angrier. "Are you kidding me? Rent wasn't paid. I'm getting late notices. And finally, desperate, Ashley's college called. Her classes are on hold. What did you do? I didn't answer a single message. They had kicked me out of the house, humiliated me, and never once said thank you for anything I'd done. Now they were seeing what life was like without me, and they were panicking. I remember sitting on the balcony of my new apartment, sipping tea, watching the sunset. It was peaceful. No yelling. No fake smiles. No guilt trips. And that's when I decided it was time they learned the full truth. The next morning, I woke up early and opened my laptop. For years, I had kept digital records, receipts, bank statements, even emails confirming Ashley's tuition payments and utility bills. I wasn't trying to collect proof at first. I just liked being organized. But now, those records became something much more powerful: evidence. I created a full expense report dating back 3 years. Every rent payment, every grocery bill, every textbook I bought for Ashley, every electric bill I paid when the heater broke in winter, it was all there. The total? Over $48,000. I saved the file, wrote a short letter, and sent it to both my mother and Ashley by email. The subject line was simple: "You wanted me out. Now see what you've lost." No threats. No begging. Just facts. By noon, my phone started blowing up. This time they didn't text, they called. Over and over. I didn't pick up. Then came the voicemails. First my mom. "Emily, what is this? Are you trying to embarrass us? You're being dramatic. We didn't ask you to pay everything." Then Ashley. "Okay, fine. Maybe we were harsh, but this is petty. You're not going to get that money back anyway, so what's your point?" That was the moment I realized they still didn't feel guilty. They were just angry that they'd lost their free ride. So I sent one final message. "You're right. I won't get the money back. But now you know what it's like without me. Good luck." And I blocked them. Later that night, I posted my story anonymously on a finance discussion forum. I didn't name them, but I shared the full journey: how I paid for everything, how I was thrown out, and how I walked away. I expected a few comments. Instead, the post exploded. Thousands of people read it. Some even recognized the details. A former classmate of Ashley's commented, saying, "No way. This sounds like that spoiled girl from my college who suddenly dropped out." Her name was Ashley, too. Word spread. Screenshots were shared. Strangers were praising me for standing up for myself. And just like that, my silence became their shame. 2 weeks passed. I didn't hear a thing from them. Not a call. Not a message. Not even a fake apology. Then, one afternoon, I got a text from an unknown number. It was a photo of my old house, with a bright red "Final Notice" sign taped to the front door. The message underneath said, "Thought you might want to see what happens when the golden goose stops laying eggs." No name. But I didn't need one. It was from Sophie, our old neighbor. She'd always been nice to me, and I guess she'd been watching things unfold quietly. I thanked her and put the phone down. Turns out the rent was months behind now. The landlord had started eviction proceedings. Ashley was officially dropped from college due to non-payment. And the power company had shut off the electricity because of the overdue bills. My mother and Ashley had nobody left to blame. At the same time, something unexpected happened. The finance post I had written, where I anonymously shared my story, got picked up by a personal finance YouTuber. They turned it into a dramatic video, and within days, it had 500,000 views. Everyone in the comments was talking about how strong and smart Emily was. I had never felt seen before. I received messages from people I hadn't spoken to in years. Old friends, former classmates, even an old boss. They were all reaching out to say how proud they were. One message stood out. It was from my old college advisor. He wrote, "Emily, if this story is really about you, and I think it is, you should consider telling it on a bigger platform. People can learn from what you went through." And that's when I got the idea. If my story could help others and bring me peace at the same time, why not tell it all? I spent the weekend setting everything up: camera, lighting, a simple background in my living room. I was nervous, but I reminded myself, this wasn't about revenge. It was about truth. and maybe, just maybe, helping someone out there who felt trapped like I once did. I sat down, looked into the camera, and hit record. "Hi, my name's Emily," I began, and a few months ago, my sister threw all my things out of the house while my mom stood by and said nothing. What they didn't know was I had been the one paying for everything for years. So I stopped. And here's what happened next. I told everything. Not with drama or yelling, just calm truth. I explained how I had worked full-time, covered the rent, paid my sister's tuition, and supported my mom while they took me for granted. I shared the breaking point, the way they threw me out, and how their world collapsed when I left. I ended the video by saying, "I'm not sharing this because I want pity. I'm sharing this because there are too many people, especially women, who carry entire families on their backs in silence. And it's okay to say enough. It's okay to walk away." I uploaded the video to a new YouTube channel I named Freedom Stories. I expected a few views, maybe a couple of comments. Instead, it blew up. Within 72 hours, the video hit 300,000 views. People flooded the comments section with support. Some said it brought them to tears. Others shared their own stories. And more than a few guessed exactly who Ashley and my mom were, even though I never used their names. And then came the sponsorship emails. Small financial planning apps wanted to feature me. A women's empowerment podcast asked for an interview. One company even offered to pay me to create a short video series about budgeting after family estrangement. Just like that, I went from being the forgotten daughter to a voice that mattered. Meanwhile, back at the house, things got worse. About a month after my video went viral, I got an unexpected email. The subject line read, "Let's talk, Mom." I stared at it for a while. My stomach twisted a little, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. "Emily, we saw your video. We didn't realize how much you were doing. Ashley feels terrible, and I admit I made mistakes too. Can we please meet and talk? Just one coffee. No pressure." At first, I didn't want to reply. But something told me it was time to face them. Not as the girl who used to beg for their approval, but as the woman who had finally taken her power back. I chose a public place. A small cafe downtown where I knew the staff and felt safe. I told them we'd meet for 30 minutes, and that's it. They arrived late, of course. My mother was dressed as if nothing had happened. Makeup done. Big fake smile. Ashley looked tired, thinner, stressed. It was clear life without free support had changed her. We sat down. I didn't say anything. I waited. My mom started. "Emily, I'm really sorry. I know we made mistakes. You were just always so strong. We thought you could handle everything." Ashley chimed in with a sniffle. "I wasn't thinking straight. I was stressed from school. I didn't mean to throw your stuff out." It almost sounded believable, almost. Until my mom pulled out a folder and slid it across the table toward me. "Since you're doing well now, we were wondering if you could help us co-sign a small loan, just to get back on our feet." I blinked. The apology wasn't real. It was just a setup. "No," I said flatly. "I'm not doing this again." Their faces dropped instantly. My mom's smile vanished. Ashley slammed her hand on the table. "Are you seriously going to let your family suffer while you play victim online?" I stood up, grabbed my purse, and looked straight at them. "You threw me out. You called me useless. Now you want my help? You don't get to treat someone like trash and then ask them to fix your life." As I turned to leave, I pulled out my phone and said, "By the way, I recorded this conversation." Ashley's eyes went wide. "What? You can't do that." "Actually," I said, "I can. We're in a one-party consent state. Look it up." I left them sitting there, stunned. And later that night, I posted a new video titled, "They apologized, but here's what they really wanted." It hit 1 million views in 5 days. The internet wasn't fooled. And neither was I. A week after the fake apology meeting, I got an email from a local legal clinic. One of the paralegals had seen my video and offered to help me review whether I had legal grounds to recover the money I'd spent on Ashley's education and household bills. To be honest, I had written that money off. But after everything they put me through, even trying to trap me into signing a loan, I decided it was worth exploring. We gathered my payment records, bank statements, and even emails from Ashley's school that listed me as her financial guarantor. Every single dollar was backed up by receipts. Over 3 years, I had spent $48,327. The lawyer told me, "You may not get the full amount back, but you absolutely have a valid small claims case against your sister." So I filed. I didn't expect them to show up, but they did. When I walked into the courtroom, Ashley looked like she hadn't slept in days. My mom avoided eye contact. I kept it professional.
Calm.
Factual. I let the paper trail speak for itself. Their defense? That it was family support and a sister's duty. But the judge interrupted them. Throwing someone out of a house while expecting them to keep paying your bills is not how family works. If she was your ATM, you should have treated her like gold, not garbage. I didn't cry when the ruling came in. Ashley was ordered to repay $12,000, broken into monthly wage garnishments. It wasn't the full amount, but it was justice. And it was legally on record that they took advantage of me. Outside the courthouse, my mother tried one last time. "You really wanted to humiliate us like this?" I looked her in the eye and said,
No.
"I wanted you to see me. But now, I want peace more than I want anything from either of you." I walked away for the final time. No guilt, no anger, just closure. After the court case, something inside me changed. Not only had I stood up for myself, I had been heard, legally and publicly. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel invisible. My YouTube channel, Freedom Stories, kept growing. More people came forward with their own experiences, sisters, brothers, even parents, sharing stories about toxic families and silent sacrifices. I started recording weekly videos, not just about what happened to me, but about rebuilding your life after being taken for granted. One of those videos caught the attention of a popular podcast host named Monica Rivers, who interviewed survivors of family manipulation and financial abuse. She invited me on her show, and I said yes. That interview changed everything. We talked for nearly an hour about control, guilt, financial boundaries, and most of all, healing. When the episode aired, it trended in the top 10 in the self-help category for 2 straight weeks. After that, offers poured in. One nonprofit asked me to lead a workshop on financial independence. A budgeting app reached out for a paid brand partnership. I even got invited to speak at a women's empowerment panel in New York. And then something truly unexpected happened. I got a message from Westville College, Ashley's old school. The financial aid office had seen the interview and recognized the details. The woman who messaged me said, "We've reviewed the past tuition records and confirmed everything was under your name. We'd love for you to join our new financial wellness advisory board." I laughed. Not in a mean way. Just amazed. The same college that Ashley got kicked out of because I stopped paying? Now, they wanted me to help guide other students financially. I said yes. I wasn't rich. I wasn't famous. But I had something I never had before: respect, independence, and purpose. And somewhere out there, my mother and sister were watching all of it. Not because I forced them to, but because when you treat someone like they're nothing and they rise anyway, you can't look away. A few months passed. Life was peaceful, productive, and finally on my terms. My videos were doing well. I had picked up a part-time consulting role with the college, and I was saving more money than I ever had before. No chaos. No guilt. Just quiet success. Then, one rainy Thursday morning, I got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize. Normally, I don't answer unknown calls, but something made me pick up. "Hello? Is this Emily?" "Yes, who's this?" "Hi. My name's Rachel. I used to date your sister's ex-boyfriend. I know this is strange, but I think you should know something." My heart skipped. I sat down. "Ashley's in trouble. She got desperate and tried to take out a student loan under your name. The application got flagged because she used an old photo of your ID. I overheard her talking about it." I was stunned. I hadn't spoken to Ashley in months. She had already dragged my name through the mud, but now she was trying to steal my identity. Rachel continued. "She's broke, Emily. Like really broke. Your mom lost her job and they're months behind on rent again. But this time, Ashley said she was going to fix everything herself, even if it meant doing something shady. I thanked her for telling me, and then I hung up, completely speechless. Later that afternoon, I checked my email and sure enough, there was a flagged alert from a loan company. Someone had tried to open a student loan account using my social security number. I immediately called the company, froze my credit, and filed a report with the Federal Trade Commission. Then I did something I never thought I'd have to do. I filed a criminal complaint. It wasn't out of revenge. It was out of necessity. If I didn't stop her now, Ashley would keep going. She had already proven she had no boundaries. That week, police visited my old house with a warning notice. The attempt was under investigation. I wasn't told all the details, but I knew this time there would be real consequences. The internet may have forgiven her, but the law wouldn't. The official investigation didn't take long. Since I had provided all the necessary documentation, proof of my identity, the attempted loan, and the fraudulent details, law enforcement was able to track the IP address used during the online application. It pointed directly to the address of my old home. A detective contacted me and said calmly, "We have enough to move forward with a charge of attempted identity theft. We'll be interviewing your sister formally." I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad. Just tired. This wasn't how I wanted things to end. But Ashley had crossed a line she couldn't come back from. The same person I once paid tuition for, defended, and even cried over, had now tried to commit a crime in my name. A week later, I got the final call. "Emily, just updating you. Ashley was officially charged. It's a low-level felony, but still serious. The DA may offer her a plea deal, but it's going on record." My mom tried to call after the charges were filed. I didn't pick up. She left one last voicemail. "You didn't have to go this far. You're ruining her life. She's your sister." No apology. No acceptance of blame. And that's when it hit me. They were never going to change. They didn't miss me. They missed what I gave them. The money, the comfort, the silence. So I changed my number. I got a new phone plan, a new email. I even legally changed the privacy settings on everything I owned. And I moved forward. My YouTube channel passed 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. I signed a book deal with a small publishing house to write my story. Burnt bridges, open roads. I even bought my first home. Small, but bright and warm. All mine. No shouting. No guilt. No second-guessing. One day, standing on my porch with a coffee in hand, I smiled to myself. Not because everything was perfect, but because for the first time ever I wasn't surviving, I was living. And I had done it on my own.